Hey guys, it's Luke. Let's get right down to it. This seminar that this blog post is about violence, and if that turns you off, might as well browse on over and check out today's headlines on MSN. There are two types of violence, and we classify those as asocial and antisocial. Okay, and I'm going to go over antisocial first. I worked as a bouncer for a lot of years, and working in bars, you mostly deal with antisocial violence. And antisocial violence are people that are jerks, and but they don't really mean to kill you. They might want to show that they're bigger than you, stronger than you. They want to be that alpha dominant status, but they're not actually going to kill you. Asocial violence is someone on drugs who is trying to stab you in the throat, or someone who's trying to rape you. Okay, and asocial violence is what we're going to deal with. Antisocial violence can be solved with social skills. Okay, I'm a big dude, and I like to think I'm a little bit tough. But the thing is, when it comes down to it, if someone said, "Give me your wallet," I would probably give them my wallet. I'm not going to get stabbed for 26 bucks. Okay, so that to me would be an antisocial situation. If they had a knife to my sister's throat, that would be an asocial situation, and I would use the principles we're going to cover in this seminar to do injuries to them until they were non-functional and or dead. And yeah, I'm getting a little queasy just talking about it. It's not something that a sane, civilized person likes to think about. Okay, now the really cool thing about learning asocial violence techniques, like stomping someone on the trachea, would be an asocial thing. Standing out in the parking lot with your shirt off in boxing would be antisocial. Okay, but when you learn asocial, think of a gun. A gun is the biggest asocial violence thing there is. Okay, you pull a trigger, and the cartridge fires, and the bullet causes lots and lots of physiological harm to their body, rendering them non-functional. Okay, so my karate teacher, Sensei Morris Mack, told this story a lot about why you should learn to be very, 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 very dangerous. And then you can deal with the antisocial situations, not just the asocial situations. Okay, let's say you're sitting on a park bench, and a guy my size, 6'4", 230 pounds, comes up and just starts screaming at you, spitting in your face. You, I don't want to swear too much. You bastard! You son of a gun! You know, I hate you. I'm gonna kill you. You know, and your gorge rises a little bit. You don't like that. And they start making fun of your race, your religion, what you're wearing. You get angry and you stand up and you go, oh, that's it. And then all of a sudden you're in an altercation. And that sucks. Okay? And that's just because you felt threatened. And I totally understand feeling threatened. And but when you have asocial control, Sensei Max said, imagine you have a big bowler hat, you know, round with a brim around it. He says you have a bowler hat on your lap, and underneath it you have like a Python 45 Colt. Okay, that thing will stop a rhinoceros, and it's pointing right at the guy. Some guy comes up and he's like, "You son of a gun, I hate you. Look at that. Look at how you look." And they start making fun of your race, your religion, all this. You're just like, because you know, if something happens, you have the situation handled. Boom, you shoot through the hat. Boom, end of situation. Okay? And that's where learning asocial violence allows you to sidestep the antisocial situations. If you know that you have the capacity for violence, you are less likely to use it. And that's a bit of a cranial conundrum. And so here is the test that I like to use for asocial versus antisocial. Okay, we're going to use the phrase, and so then I took my hand and I crushed his trachea, knocked him down, and stomped on his head. Okay, so I crushed his trachea, knocked him down, and stomped on his head. And if you can end a statement with that, then it is an asocial situation. And if you can't, without just feeling like a horrible, horrible person, then it's an antisocial situation. So I was at Doppelgangers dancing, and a guy came up and shoved me aside and started dancing with the girl I had just met. And so I crushed his trachea, knocked him down, and stomped on his head until he was basically a vegetable. That doesn't work. That was an antisocial situation. That could have been solved with social skills and or leaving. Okay, now imagine that I'm my sister and I'm a pretty girl and I'm walking home from school. I'm walking home from school, a guy grabs me and starts dragging me into his car. And so I crushed his trachea, knocked him down, and stomped on his head until he was a vegetable. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, that sentence makes total sense. Someone grabbed me, they dragged me into their car with a knife at my throat, and so I crushed their trachea, knocked them down, and stomped on their head. That was an asocial situation, and you solved it by becoming more asocial than they were. Okay, and antisocial, I was walking down the street, some guy yelled, "Hey baby," so I crushed his throat, knocked him down, and stomped on his head until he was a vegetable. Doesn't work. Okay, and so by learning asocial violence, you also learn when to use it. When you learn martial arts, and I'm including boxing and the new mixed martial arts, UFC stuff is martial arts, those are primarily tools that would allow you to prevail in an antisocial situation. Okay, where you're going to prove who's bigger, tougher, stronger, faster. Well, I want to show you how even if you aren't bigger, stronger, tougher, faster, you can prevail using asocial violence in an asocial situation. So this is Luke signing off.